Universal Accord was more than a treaty. It was the bedrock of interstellar civilization, drafted over 3 centuries ago by the elders of the Galactic Consortium. It outlined the principles that ensured harmony among the hundreds of intelligent species scattered across the Milky Way. Among these principles, one stood out above all others. We do not kill humans. The rationale was rooted in ancient history. Humanity, a relatively young species on the cosmic scale, had survived near extinction multiple times. Their resilience, adaptability, and unique neurological makeup had made them a critical stabilizing force in the galaxy. Some called it fate, others considered it evolution's cruel joke. But one thing was clear: whenever humans thrived, so did the galaxy. The presence was an anomaly that staved off entropy in ways no scientist could fully explain. And not everyone agreed with the accord. In whispered corners of the galactic underworld, dissent brewed. Many believed the law placed humanity on an undeserved pedestal, making them untouchable even in the face of their own mistakes. And so, when the first human death occurred under mysterious circumstances on the mining colony of Taraxis 7, it sent shockwaves across the consortium. The incident on Taraxis 7. Taraxis 7 was a desolate world, orbiting a dying star. It was rich in zorite, a rare mineral vital for faster-than-light travel, and its surface teemed with mining operations. Humans had settled there decades ago, coexisting with alien workers under the Accord's predictive shield. Life was harsh but predictable, until the body was found. A mining foreman, Edward Caulfield, was discovered in the depths of a zorite shaft. His suit's integrity had been compromised, exposing him to the planet's toxic atmosphere. Initial reports suggested an accident, but forensic scans revealed the suit had been deliberately sabotaged. It was no accident. It was murder. The consortium dispatched investigator Lydia Voss, a human renowned for her unflinching adherence to the law. Lydia was accompanied by Kael'tar, a Xyloran enforcer whose species, known for their telepathic prowess, had been integral to maintaining peace in the galaxy. Together, they represented the best of interstellar justice. "This is impossible," Kael'tar said, his voice resonating in Lydia's mind through their telepathic link as they descended into the mine. His translucent skin shimmered under the dim lights. "No one would dare break the accord. The repercussions would be catastrophic." Lydia adjusted her visor, her expression grim. "Someone dared. And now we have to find out why." The investigation begins. The duo's first stop was the mining outpost's command center. The room buzzed with nervous energy as workers and administrators whispered among themselves. The station chief, a reptilian Arctal named Vriss, greeted them with a mixture of relief and trepidation. "Investigator Voss, Enforcer Kael'tar," Vriss began, the voice a low hiss. "This is unprecedented. We've secured the scene and restricted access to the mine. The workers are unsettled." "Unsettled is an understatement," Lydia replied. "A human was murdered on your watch. If we don't resolve this quickly, the consortium will impose martial law on Taraxis 7. Kael'tar's eyes glowed faintly as he scanned the room, probing the emotions of those present. "Fear, guilt, anger," he reported telepathically to Lydia. "But no immediate signs of deception." Lydia nodded. "We'll start with the crime scene." The mine was a labyrinth of tunnels carved into the planet's crust. The air was heavy with the scent of machinery and the faint metallic tang of zorite. They reached the shaft where Caulfield had died. His suit lay crumpled on the ground, its helmet cracked and oxygen filters torn. Lydia knelt beside it, her scanner humming as it analyzed the damage. "The cuts are precise," she said. "Whoever did this knew exactly where to strike." Calthar extended a hand over the suit, his mind reaching for residual energy. Lydia frowned. "Telepathic interference. That narrows our list of suspects. But it also raises more questions. The rebel faction. Their investigation led them to a worker named Neris, a Xyloran who had been stationed on Taraxis 7 for years. She was known for her outspoken criticism of the consortium and its policies, particularly the Accord. "I didn't kill him," Neris said, when they confronted her in her quarters. Her voice was steady, but Kael'tar sensed an undercurrent of defiance. "But I won't pretend I mourn him. Humans act like they're the center of the universe, and we're all just supposed to bow to their superiority." "This isn't about superiority," Lydia said, her tone sharp. "The Accord exists to protect everyone. Humanity's role is unique, but that doesn't make them infallible." "Unique?" Kael'thar stepped forward, his eyes glowing brighter. "You're hiding something, Neris. I can feel it." Neris stiffened but said nothing. Lydia gestured for Kael'thar to back off. "We'll find the truth," she said, "whether you cooperate or not." As they left Neris's quarters, Kael'thar turned to Lydia. "She's connected to this, but she's not the mastermind." "Mate, who interviews the grandfather? And then we'll follow the trail," Lydia said, "and hope we're not too late. A deeper conspiracy. All right?" The investigation uncovered a network of dissenters within the mining operation, many of whom shared Neris's disdain for humanity. They called themselves the Sovereign Initiative, a shadowy group advocating for the repeal of the Accord. Their argument was simple. Humanity's protected status created inequality and bred resentment among other species. Lydia and Kael'thar's inquiries led them to an abandoned sector of the mine where the initiative had been meeting in secret. The room was filled with stolen consortium technology, including devices capable of masking telepathic activity. Among the equipment, they found a manifesto detailing plans to escalate their campaign against humanity. "They're organized," Lydia said, scanning the documents. "This isn't just a group of disgruntled workers. They have resources and connections." Kael'thar examined a device resembling a neural amplifier. "And they're not afraid to use advanced technology. This explains the telepathic interference at the crime scene." Suddenly, the room's lights flickered. A voice echoed through the chamber, distorted and cold. "You've meddled enough. Investigator." Before they could react, the room erupted in chaos. Explosions rocked the walls, and a swarm of automated drones descended upon them. Lydia and Kael'thar fought back, their training and instincts keeping them alive as they made their escape. The fracture. Back at the command center, Lydia reviewed the data they had managed to salvage. The evidence was damning. The Sovereign Initiative was larger than they had imagined, and their influence extended beyond Taraxis 7. Reports of similar attacks on humans were emerging from other colonies. "This isn't just about breaking the Accord," Lydia said. "They're trying to dismantle it entirely." Kael'tar's expression darkened. "If they succeed, the galaxy will descend into chaos. The Accord is the only thing keeping us from tearing each other apart." Lydia nodded. "We have to stop them. But first we need to understand their endgame. Why now? Why go to such lengths?" As they prepared for their next move, a message arrived from the consortium. The Sovereign Initiative had issued a statement claiming responsibility for the attacks and demanding an immediate referendum on the Accord. If their demands were not met, they promised to escalate their efforts. In the Sovereign Initiative, Lydia and Keltar knew the stakes had never been higher. The Accord was fracturing and the galaxy teetered on the brink of war. But the deeper they delved into the conspiracy, the more they realized the truth was far more complex and far more dangerous than they had imagined. A rebel faction and a hidden truth. The aftermath of the ambush. The Sovereign Initiative statement had sent shockwaves across the galaxy. News channels buzzed with speculation, each faction interpreting the events to fit their narrative. On Taraxis 7, Lydia Voss and Kelthar regrouped, their minds racing to piece together the fractured puzzle. The Initiative's demands were clear, but their true intentions remained shrouded in mystery. In the aftermath of the ambush, the duo found temporary refuge in a secured consortium facility. The battered structure served as a command post for local law enforcement and was now brimming with consortium agents, analyzing the recovered data. Kelthar paced the room, his translucent skin dim with exhaustion. Such a vivid description, added Gawley, and it does. Float away. They knew exactly where to strike, he said, his voice laced with frustration. That ambush wasn't a warning. It was a declaration of war. Lydia, seated at a console, scrolled through intercepted communications, her brow furrowed as she analyzed the patterns. They've been planning this for years, she said, recruiting, stockpiling resources, and infiltrating critical systems. This isn't just a rebellion. It's a coordinated insurgency. Kelthar stopped pacing and turned to her. And yet, we still don't know their endgame. Breaking the Accord would destabilize the galaxy. But to what end? What could they possibly hope to gain? Lydia's fingers paused over the keyboard. Power, perhaps. Or revenge. But there's something else here. Something we're missing. The underground network. The Sovereign Initiative operated like a hydra. Cut off one head, and two more would rise in its place. To understand their motives, Lydia and Keltar needed to infiltrate their network. Using encrypted channels, they traced connections to a suspected hub on Belarus Prime, a bustling trade world known for its black markets and shadowy dealings. Disguised as independent traders, Lydia and Keltar navigated the neon-lit streets of Belarus Prime. The city was a chaotic blend of towering skyscrapers and underground bazaars, where merchants peddled everything from alien artifacts to illegal weaponry. Their target was a nightclub called the Obsidian Vale, rumored to be a front for initiative operatives. Inside, the air was thick with smoke and pulsating music. Lydia and Keltar moved through the crowd, their senses on high alert. At the bar, Lydia struck up a conversation with a Xyloran bartender, subtly probing for information. Looking for someone, she said, sliding a credit chip across the counter. Word is, the Sovereign Initiative has a presence here. The bartender's eyes narrowed. You're playing a dangerous game, human, he said. But if you're serious, talk to Tyrannus. He's in the VIP lounge. Kelthar's telepathic whisper resonated in Lydia's mind. Be cautious. This could be a trap. Lydia nodded subtly and made her way to the VIP lounge, where a burly arc-tailed guard blocked the entrance. Flashing a forged consortium badge, she gained entry and found Tyrannus, a lanky Dronvar with sharp features and an air of authority. He eyed her warily as she approached. You don't look like one of us, Tyrannus said, his voice low. What do you want? Lydia leaned in, her expression hard. I want answers. The Accord is failing, and I'm here to ensure I'm on the right side when it collapses. Durandi studied her for a moment before nodding. Follow me. The inner circle. Tyrannus led them to a hidden chamber beneath a nightclub, where a holographic map of the galaxy dominated the room. Around it stood members of the Initiative's inner circle, a diverse group of aliens united by their disdain for the Accord. Lydia and Kael'thar listened as Tyrannus outlined their plans. "The Accord has shackled us for too long," he said, his voice fervent. "Humanity's so-called special status is a lie. They're not protectors, they're parasites, and we're going to expose them for what they truly are." Lydia's heart raced as she maintained her facade. "How do you plan to do that?" she asked. Tyrannus activated a console, revealing files stolen from Consortium archives. "This is Project Eden," he said. "A classified program that proves humanity's survival isn't natural. The Consortium has been manipulating galactic events to keep humans alive, even at the expense of other species." Kael'thar's telepathic voice echoed in her mind. "If this is true, it changes everything." A revelation. The stolen files detailed a series of covert operations spanning centuries. From engineering natural disasters on alien worlds to suppressing technological advancements, the Consortium had indeed prioritized humanity's survival. The revelations painted a picture of a galaxy manipulated from the shadows, all to maintain the balance that humans inexplicably provided. Lydia felt a surge of conflicting emotions. As a human, she had always believed in the Accord's principles, but the evidence before her suggested a darker reality. "Why would the Consortium do this?" she asked. Tyrannus's expression hardened. Because they're afraid. Humanity isn't a stabilizing force. It's a ticking time bomb. And when it goes off, the entire galaxy will burn. Kael'thar stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "You're condemning an entire species for the actions of a few. The Consortium's mistakes don't justify mass rebellion." Tyrannus sneered. "Spoken like a true enforcer, but it's too late for diplomacy. The initiative is already in motion, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. A race against time." Realizing the gravity of the situation, Lydia and Kael'thar knew they had to act quickly. Under the guise of joining the initiative, they gained access to their network and transmitted the stolen files to the Consortium. But their deception was short-lived. The initiative's security protocols flagged the transmission, and alarms blared throughout the chamber. Tyrannus turned on them, his eyes blazing with fury. "Traitors!" he roared. "You'll pay for this!" And Lloyd? What followed was a chaotic battle. Lydia and Kael'thar fought their way out, using every ounce of their training to evade capture. They escaped into the labyrinthine streets of Balaris Prime, pursued by initiative operatives. The hidden truth. Back aboard their ship, Lydia and Kael'thar reviewed the stolen files in detail. The evidence was undeniable. The Consortium had been complicit in atrocities, all to preserve the illusion of humanity's indispensability. But the files also contained something unexpected, a blueprint for a device known as the Harmony Engine. "What is this?" Kael'thar asked, his voice tinged with curiosity. Leah's eyes widened as she read the description. "To fail safe," she said. "The Consortium designed it to stabilize the galaxy if humanity were ever wiped out. It's a contingency plan." Kael'thar frowned. "Why hasn't it been activated?" "Because it requires a catastrophic event," Lydia replied. "The kind of event the initiative is trying to trigger. A desperate gamble." With the initiative's plans accelerating, Lydia and Kael'thar faced an impossible choice. If they exposed the Consortium's actions, it could shatter the Accord and plunge the galaxy into chaos. But if they did nothing, the initiative's rebellion would achieve the same result. We need to find the Harmony engine, Lydia said. It might be the only way to stop this. Kael'thar nodded. Agreed. But if we activate it, there's no telling what consequences it will have. As they set a course for the Harmony engine's location, Lydia couldn't shake the weight of the decision before them. The galaxy's future hung in the balance, and the line between hero and villain had never been blurrier. A human investigator in an unlikely alliance? The call to action? Agent Elias Toren stood in his Spartan office aboard the ISS Resolute, a consortium battleship orbiting the trade hub of Caloris 5. The sharp hum of an incoming message interrupted his thoughts. As the holographic display activated, High Marshal Tyvra's commanding figure materialized, her segmented Alliance exoskeleton shimmering in the light. I can't remember. Something about Agent Toren, she began, her tone clipped. New intelligence indicates that the Sovereign Initiative has targeted the Harmony engine. You are to intercept their operatives and secure the site at all costs. The stability of the galaxy depends on it. Toren nodded, his expression resolute. Understood. Do we have any leads? Tyvra's mandibles twitched. There is a potential informant on Nereus 5th, a Zinthurian smuggler named Arkin. He's known to operate near the coral districts. Be warned, Vel's loyalty is as fluid as the waters he navigates. Proceed with caution. As the hologram faded, Toren prepared for his mission. The Initiative's rebellion had already claimed countless lives, and now they threatened the galaxy's most closely guarded secret. Toren's role as a human investigator carried unique weight. He was both a protector of his species and an enforcer of the Accord. But with each revelation, the line between ally and enemy grew increasingly blurred and sent into the depths. The journey to Nereus 6 was uneventful, but the planet's surface offered no such reprieve. Endless storms battered the oceans, their violent winds creating towering waves that crashed against submerged cities. Toren docked his craft in the bustling harbor district of Naria, a hive of activity where towering coral spires served as both homes and trading posts. Navigating the labyrinthine corridors of the Coral City, Toren followed leads provided by consortium intelligence. His target, Arkin, was a notorious figure among the denizens of Nereus X's underworld. Known for smuggling rare artifacts and evading capture with ease, Arkham was as enigmatic as he was resourceful. Toren's search led him to a dimly lit tavern carved into a coral reef, its patrons a mix of grizzled sailors and shadowy traders. Arkin was easy to spot, his bioluminescent markings glowing faintly as he lounged in a corner booth. Toren approached cautiously, his consortium badge hidden beneath his jacket. You mean like the valiant soldiers you killed? Arganvel, Toren asked, his voice steady. The Zinthurian glanced up, his glowing eyes narrowing. Who's asking? Someone who needs your expertise, Toren replied. The Sovereign Initiative is moving against the Harmony engine. I need your help to stop them. Arkan chuckled, his mandibles clicking in amusement. And why would I help you, consortium dog? Last I checked, your kind doesn't exactly pay well. Toren leaned in, his voice low. Because if the initiative succeeds, this galaxy won't have a future. And I have the resources to make it worth your while. What's he smiling at? Arkan studied him for a long moment before smirking. All right, human. I'll hear you out. But if you're lying, I'll make sure you regret it. An uneasy partnership. Their alliance began with tension, neither fully trusting the other. Arkin led Toren through the underwater corridors of Neria, navigating hidden pathways that only a smuggler would know. Along the way, He revealed snippets of information about the initiative's presence on Nera 6. "They've been recruiting heavily," Arcan said, "promising freedom from the Accord's tyranny. But it's not just speeches and propaganda. They've got resources, weapons, ships, and tech I've never seen before." Toren frowned. "How deep does this go?" Arcan shrugged. "Deep enough to make even the consortium nervous. And that's saying something." Their destination was an abandoned mining facility on the ocean floor, rumored to be an initiative hideout. As they approached, Arcan used a series of stolen codes to bypass the facility's automated defenses. The interior was dimly lit and irritably silent. The only sounds, the hum of machinery and the distant crash of waves. Inside, they found evidence of the initiative's activities: crates of weapons, encrypted communication devices, and schematics for the Harmony engine. Toren's heart sank as he realized the scale of their plans. "They're not just targeting the engine," he said. "They're planning to dismantle the entire Accord." Arcan's expression darkened. "Then we better stop them." Of a first encounter, their investigation was interrupted by the arrival of an initiative patrol. Toren and Arcan ducked behind a row of crates as the soldiers entered, their voices muffled by helmets. "We've secured the final shipment," one soldier said. "Command wants it delivered to the rendezvous point immediately." Toren and Arcan exchanged a glance. This was their chance to uncover the initiative's next move. As the soldiers prepared to leave, the duo launched a coordinated attack. Toren's precision and Arcan's agility made quick work of the patrol, leaving one soldier alive for interrogation. Under duress, the soldier revealed the location of the initiative's main base on Nera 6, a heavily fortified underwater station hidden within a thermal vent field. The duo wasted no time, commandeering a submersible and setting a course for the base. Yanveri? The station was a marvel of engineering, its sleek architecture blending seamlessly with the surrounding environment. Toren and Arcan infiltrated the base using stolen credentials, navigating its labyrinthine corridors with care. What they discovered inside left them speechless. The initiative wasn't just preparing for war, they were building a new society. Entire wings of the station were dedicated to research, education, and infrastructure. Yet beneath this facade of progress lay a darker truth. The initiative's vision for the galaxy excluded humanity entirely. In a secured laboratory, they found the centerpiece of the initiative's plans, a prototype weapon designed to disrupt the Harmony engine's delicate balance. The device pulsed with an ominous energy, its purpose clear. He knows his dad is right about space travel. Telescopes are useless and life-threatening. And on the journey from Earth to Mars, the robot leeches the entire galaxy, Toren said, his voice grim. If this goes off, it won't just disable the engine, it'll destabilize the entire galaxy. Arcan's mandibles clicked in frustration. Then we destroy it. Now. The climax. Their attempt to sabotage the device was met with fierce resistance. Initiative forces swarmed the laboratory and a desperate battle ensued. Toren and Arcan fought side by side, their unlikely partnership tested to its limits. Despite their efforts, the initiative's leader, a charismatic human named Darius Kane, arrived with reinforcements. Kane's presence was commanding, his words calculated to sow doubt. "Toren," he said, "you're fighting for a lie. The Accord doesn't protect humanity. It exploits us. Join us, and we can build a future where humanity thrives without fear." Toren hesitated, the weight of Kane's words striking a nerve. But Arcan's sharp voice snapped him back. "Don't listen to him. He'll sacrifice this entire galaxy for his so-called future." "Yes, Rohus said. In the chaos, Toren and Arcan managed to destroy the prototype, triggering a chain reaction that forced them to flee. As they escaped, Toren couldn't shake the feeling that Kane's words held a kernel of truth. The Fragile Alliance. Back aboard their ship, Toren and Arcan reviewed the intelligence they had gathered. The Initiative's plans were far from over, and the Harmony engine remained in jeopardy. Their alliance, though uneasy, had proven effective, but trust was still in short supply. I need... the radio on. No. We now do, baby, I said, watching my beloved work in his proper position. Heave the one into the clubhouse? I did, I said. Toren's gaze hardened. We stopped the Initiative, no matter what it takes. As their ship accelerated into the void, the galaxy's fate hung precariously in the balance. Toren and Arcane's journey was far from over, and the battles ahead would test their resolve like never before.